All right, time for another episode of Fantasy Show. This is week 6 edition. Before we get into week 6 matchups, let's talk about last week, week 5, starting with my matchup versus Tyler. Lower scoring matchup here between me and Tyler as I pulled out a victory 115 to 103 to move to 4 and 1. Tyler falls to 2 and 3. A little bit unlucky for Tyler as he left some points on the bench. But my boys on Sunday night, Purdy and Pollard, got me just enough to really Purdy led the way, got me what I needed to get the win over Tyler. Overall, a win for my team, but a loss at the same time, as two of my prominent players, Connor and Jefferson, both went down last week during the game and are now both on IR, which hurts my team. So it was a win in the win column, but a loss overall for my team moving forward. On Tyler's side, like we said, he had a bad game by Lamar Jackson. Only 9 points kind of cost Tyler. He probably could have won if Lamar just put up a decent normal game. Other than that, he got a big game from Hopkins, though, 22. He looked good. Other than that, he had Jacoby Myers on Monday night, who he didn't play, and got him 20. Amon-Ra St. Brown did not play last week as he had an injury, so some injuries for Tyler as well. He also left Pitts on the bench, who got him 15. So some opportunities for Tyler if he made the right calls to pick up a win over me, but I will take the win no matter what. Anybody want to comment on either of these two teams or the matchup?
Unlucky golfer.
Yeah, well, at least I got the win. It would have been 10 times worse if I lost last week and was 3 and 2 and then had these injuries. So we will move
And
forward.
Tyler, thanks for getting rid of Drake London. Thank
Oh, okay.
you.
All right. Wait, you didn't he traded him to you?
Yeah, well, he
Oh.
gave me DJ Moore.
Hmm. Oh, you're saying the DJ Moore, yeah. But I mean, you didn't even start him though. But we'll get to that in a
Well,
second. All right, moving on to the second matchup of last week. We
What
had.
did
oh,
you call me? Hold on,
Oh,
I'm back.
I said if you wanted to comment. We're just going over last week's matchups. You want to comment
Which
on me
matchup?
versus Tyler?
Yeah, that was very unfortunate circumstances of that game. So
Yeah,
many injuries.
yeah. I got the win, but it was a loss, as I was saying.
Great
So
injuries.
yeah, great.
Whoa.
Wow,
wow.
Pook. Well, great injuries for you too, bitch. As we move to your matchup with Matt, that Matt absolutely destroyed you, 98 to 135. Another disappointing week for Pook's team as he didn't score 100 points. Anthony Richardson got hurt
Almost.
during the game, so that hurt Pook as he's now without his starting quarterback, although he's got Fields on the bench at least. AJ Dillon had a decent game considering AJ Dillon's
Pop off
normally
game.
trash. Yeah, pop off game. So we'll see if you can find someone to pin him over to
Fields
now that
on
he
the
scored
bench.
13. Chris Olave had another kind of mediocre struggling game. Nakua though looked good with Cooper Cup back. He still had a nice game, 20. And Waller, finally a
Pop off
Waller
game.
sighting, 16. That's like 40 for in Waller terms. Had a huge day, but then has picked up an injury, so we'll see for next week.
He is playing.
Downs had another nice game. So overall, a couple bright spots for Pook's team compared to what it's been, but Bijan only with 11 points can kind of hurt you a bit, and overall your quarterback getting hurt isn't never a good thing, and just mediocre all around pretty much to only score 98. Never usually going to win with that. On Matt's side, he moves to 4 and 1, gets a big win. His team popped off again as Justin Fields, who Pook traded after what was it, week 3, after the first 3 weeks of the season where Fields shit the bed. Pook traded him to Matt, and ever since then, Fields has popped off. Any comments on that at all, Pook?
He will come back down to earth.
Oh,
Face the
okay.
Broncos and the
What did you
Commanders
get
are
for
dog
Fields,
shit.
by the way, in that
Mike
trade?
Evans.
Okay, Mike Evans. All right. Najee Harris had a bad game though. He went back down to earth after a decent game last week. Pacheco had a okay game for Pacheco standards. I mean, he's been doing pretty solid all year so far. Diggs had another big game, of course. Devontae Adams, he did not look good on Monday night, but it didn't really matter because Matt already had the win wrapped up. Thielen had a big game. 27 points for Adam Thielen on the Carolina Panthers. He's been a pretty decent pickup or a pretty decent draft pick for Matt so
Bro,
far
he's
this year.
fucking old as dirt.
Yeah, and
I
he keeps
mean,
getting fucking
So
targets and
he's wide
catches.
receiver 10.
Yeah, he's popping off.
I know better than your
Yeah.
wide
So
receiver.
overall, a pretty solid team performance all around for Matt, and he gets the win. Any comments you'd like to make, Pook, on the loss?
I'm just unlucky that my boy Anthony Richardson got
Oh, a
hurt.
trade is pending?
Okay.
Whoa!
Oh,
Ooh,
live trade
well,
on the
we'll get to
show.
that in a second.
Fuck this matchup.
So you think if Richardson played, you would have what? Just lost by
I
20
see the trade there's
or
I would have
15?
lost by 15 or less, but
Oh,
I
okay.
need the points for, golfer. It's not about the win or
Okay.
loss. I need the points for.
Interesting. All right. Okay, it's between Pook and Cheese. Pook did
Oh,
accept, or Cheese did accept. We'll look at that in a second. Moving on to the next matchup, we had Ernie versus Pussy in a huge underdog story Pusa. After last week,
Big
we
upset.
all shit on his team. His team finally performed. He made a lot of statements last week that this was a do or die week for his team. They needed to perform and make him look like he knows what he's doing, and they showed up for him. I don't know if Pussy knows what he's doing, but at least this week he did. He's got a big win over Ernie. Sends Ernie to 3-2. So after a 3-0 start for Ernie, he picks up a loss. On Pussy's side, he goes to 2-3. So a big win for him to get him out of the cellar. Big games here from Travis Etienne on Monday or Sunday morning. Huge game, 36 huge points. Judy had an okay game. Goddard had a big game finally for Pussy, so that's good. Pussy continues to start his boy Jahan Dotson, and he continues to not do much. Christian Watson, though, it was a battle of Watson versus Romeo Dobbs on Monday night for this matchup. It was still in the balance. Pussy was only up like 2 points, and Christian Watson showed, for this week at least, compared to Romeo Dobbs, that he is him, as he got 11 points, and Romeo Dobbs did not look involved at all in the game and only had 1 catch on 4 targets. So rough for Ernie there. That was not
Yikes.
Mike Williams-esque. Ernie's side, he did have good games from Addison once Jefferson gone down, so that's a big boost for Ernie to have Addison now, as he's probably going to be the top guy for Minnesota. So that's a big pickup for him. Ridley had a nice game. Laporta continues to look very strong. McCaffrey, though, didn't have that great of a game. His first kind of bad game. He still got in the end zone. They were up so big that they really didn't have to use him that much. And Joe Burrow finally had a decent showing for Ernie, so that's good if he can continue to get Burrow back on track for his team moving forward. Overall, though, big upset for Pussy. He needed that win. Let me see. What did he say on last week's? I think he just made some generic. He said, on my matchup last week, lucky win. My team is pure shit. Good luck to Ernie the rest of the season. Wow, so he's not even feeling that much better about his team after that 130-point big win. Usually people change their tune on their team when they
He's
put up
being
good numbers.
sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't read. He said lucky win. My team is pure shit. All right. Anyone have any comments on Pussy getting a
I
big
do.
win? All right, go ahead.
I do too.
I was wrong about Pusa this week. I had Ernie on a landslide.
Yeah, you
I
did say that.
apologize, but your
Okay.
team is still dog shit. So
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
come
did
back
have
down to
Pusa
reality.
as well. I had Pusa winning.
I had Pusa winning. Yeah.
Fuck Pusa's bitch fucking dumbass is fucking
Whoa.
Christian Watson cost me $280. He's
Ew.
gonna get fucking 9
Whoa.
more yards. Little fucking bum.
I mean, he should have had that touchdown on that long catch, but he got fucking horse collared from behind. Was that 9
Yeah,
yards? That might have cost you.
It was like 7, I
Oh,
think.
okay. Well, that didn't cost.
The fucking Pusa's team put up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Remember,
First time all season. Most points he scored.
Yeah.
So a little bit unlucky for Ernie that he faced Pussy on a week that his team decided to show up. All right,
Remember
moving on to the
when,
next matchup. This was a big matchup, Bill versus Zombie, and Zombie got the better end. 142 for Zombie's team. Huge win, moves to 3-2. Bill falls to 2-3. He put up 121, would have won in some other matchups. So a little bit unlucky for Bill, but he falls to 2-3. Zombie's big performers, he ended up starting Stafford, like he said last week. If Kupp was playing, he was starting Stafford, and he did okay. Overall, Kupp looked pretty solid, though, with 20 points in his first game back. Really, a big disappointment was Devontae Smith. Ever since A.J. Brown started crying for the ball, Devontae Smith's had a couple rough games. Only 1 catch on 5 targets for 6 yards. Mostert, though, another solid game, and now he looks like he's in the clear with Achane going to IR, so that's a big boost for Zombies running
I
backs.
love to see that.
Yeah.
Well,
Kittle with a huge
oh.
game as he caught 3 touchdowns on 3 catches. So that's big boomer bust. Kittle was a boom this week for Zombie. On Bill's side, some standouts. Josh Allen had another nice game. David Montgomery continues to look like a workhorse, as Zombie mentioned earlier. Kamara who Zombie traded, continues to look good.
What a dumb fucking trade. What was
Waddle,
that trade again?
I don't remember.
Zach Moss for Kamara, and now Bill has both.
Was it?
Jesus
I
fucking
don't know.
Christ, what a rape.
Nico Collins. No, didn't it have Jerome Ford in it? Wasn't it Jerome Ford?
Nope.
Something
He doesn't
It
have
was
Jerome
Zach
Ford. He
Moss.
doesn't have Jerome Ford
It
either.
was
so I
Zach
mean,
Moss
I
and
don't-
Fab.
okay. Nico
Yeah,
Collins had a lower game. Zach Ertz kind of just mediocre. Bottom half of Bill's team was all pretty mediocre, under 10 points or around 10 points. So that kind of is what cost Bill. I mean, the top half was really good, and then the bottom half was kind of shit the bed, but still scored 121. Not bad. Zombie, your comments after your big win versus Bill in the battle of 2 and 2s. So now you're 3 and 2.
Yeah, my Saints defense cooked Matt Jones.
Yeah,
Of
that was to be
24.
expected. Yeah, 24 big points. Your kicker had a nice game
100,
too. We picked him up from waivers. Good.
140 without my boy Herbert and Cooper.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
good week for the rest of your team to pop off with those guys on bye. So, yep. All
But
right. Yeah.
GG's to Bill. I think Bill still has a good team. I think he's gonna make the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Wow, strong early prediction statement already. Nice. All right, moving on to the next matchup. Another unlucky matchup here as Rat puts up the most points on the week, 162 points to defeat Zach, to send Zach to 1 and 4. Zach, 134 points, and he doesn't get the win. That's gotta sting for Zach. After he came out of fantasy depression, he was put back in it by Cheese last week, and then Rat continued to hammer the depression after Zach's team had a really good week and picks up a loss. So very unlucky for Zach as he falls to 1 and 4, the only 1 and 4 team now in the cellar. So a little bit of PTSD for Zach compared to last year, as he had a rough start last year as well and just barely survived last place. We'll see if he can do it again this year and rebound. Rat, I mean, you look at Rat's team, and there was really almost everybody that popped off. Mahomes had his 20, looked decent. James Cook was kind of the only negative with 5. But Oddchain, before getting hurt, had a huge game. Tyreek Hill had one of his bigger games, as he's a monster. Scary Terry, didn't fall in the end zone on a touchdown, so that's why he ends up with only 9 points. Travis Kelce, 22, looked good. Scary incident that Rat was holding his breath for, I'm sure, when he saw that non-contact injury, but apparently it was nothing because he just ended up coming back. Must be the Pfizer vaccine keeping him healthy. Breece Hall with a 28. Big game for Breece Hall. We were wondering if he was ever going to get the workload and get the performance. And against the Broncos, that's always a get-right game for any team, including Breece Hall. And it was a get-right game for him. 22 carries for 177 yards and 3 receptions as well. Huge game. Jets defense as well against the Broncos. Like I said, if you're facing the Broncos, it's always a good matchup, no matter if you're an ass team or not. On Zach's side, Tua with a solid game. Jacobs had a nice game on Monday night. Miles Sanders, ouch, only 1.2 looked not look good. Huge game though for Jamar Chase to give Zach a little bit of a chance. 52 huge points, a wake up to make up for the first few games of the season. Michael Thomas though with another kind of mediocre 10. It seems like Michael Thomas is just a 10 point a week type of player, as he can't ever get into the end zone. Mark Andrews mediocre, Debo kind of mediocre. So overall, just not enough points for Zach from some of his players to contend. But when you're facing 162, you're probably not going to win no matter what your team does. So unlucky for Zach. Rat, your comments after the big, huge performance by your team. 2 weeks in a row now, your team has done good. You're now 3 and 2.
Great performance. Sadly, Oddchain got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He can sit back, hit rest up. Cook and Breece
I
Hall,
noticed you
hopefully can
made
hold
his
it down.
title better than Bijan.
He's still better than Bijan, even.
Oh, even on IR, he's better than
uh,
Bijan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And better than Gibbs.
Oh. Okay.
They will hold it down. Luckily, I do have 3 running backs. I would be panicking more if I didn't have 3. So it's a good thing I do have them and also my bench. I left the big boy on the bench, so.
Yeah, DJ Moore, who you traded for
yeah,
last week.
So luckily I have him now.
So can I ask you a question about that?
Yes.
So you traded for him in a pretty solid trade for you to just bench him?
Yes. I like Terry McLaurin's matchup over DJ Moore, so.
So you just traded for
Yeah.
DJ Moore because you like the offer and you are just looking towards the future?
Yes, I like DJ Moore future-wise, but now he will be in the starting lineup because
Okay.
after that, yeah.
Okay. So he can get like 9 points next week. So.
Well, no.
Oh,
I think he
okay.
can give me a steady 13 to 15.
Okay. Well, the Bears have woken up a little bit on
No
offense these
shot.
last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any comments on Rat's team or this matchup? Unlucky for Zach.
I wish Travis Kelce stayed down.
Ooh, yeah.
Me
Wow.
too. I do wish he stayed down.
Mm.
Chain will be back and take
I
things
think
back
that
a
might have
little
been the
bit.
first time I've ever seen somebody react like that to a non-contact injury and actually be okay.
I will say that injury caused all the Swifties to root and tell the NFL they want grass over
Mhm.
turf. So that is a positive.
Well, I guess that is a positive. I mean,
Um,
if the Swifties can't get change, then I don't know what will ever get change. Go ahead, Zombie.
Wait, I want to know if you're gonna do the
Yes, we are.
4 teams again.
Yes, we will. We will do the panic meter at the end.
Is Fake Reds a team at the end?
You'll find out at the end, Zombie. Let's go. We're
Save
trying
my
to get through
statement
this.
for the.
Well, okay, he's not. He just scored
He's
162
not.
points and is 3-2, and we did him
I
last
guess
week.
I'm gonna say
Okay, so
Fake
say
Reds
it now.
team is fraudulent.
Fraudulent, really? Wow.
Wow. I'm
That's
not
kind
even
of a
going to
strong
that
statement.
point.
That's a kind of a strong. Would you like to
Now that
clarify
Archie-
why you think it's fraudulent?
Yeah,
He's
now
got some
that
good
Archie
players.
is done,
Oh, okay.
his running backs are cooked.
I mean, he's
Brees
got
Hall
Brees
has
Hall
been
that he can just put into his running back spot.
I don't disagree with the fact that his running backs are cooked, but
Yeah, Brees Hall had his one good game against Denver.
Okay.
He's not gonna do anything anymore.
I
And
wanted
James
to
Cook
recomment.
was
James Cook
not gonna do
James Cook
anything.
doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Okay.
he doesn't look good.
All right,
So
your
he's
response to
cooked
that,
now.
Rat, quickly.
Once Achin comes back after 4 games, Mostert's cooked, Zombie will have a bad
That's a
record,
fact.
and then Zombie will slip out of the
That's a
playoffs.
fact.
I do have one follow-up question to that. You know, yesterday in
Yes.
our 3-team trade talks that I was wasting hours trying to get done, and then just for both of you at separate times to have some issue with
Yes.
some small little detail. You at one time you had the option to trade Zombie Achain to get DeAndre Swift back, along with some other. There was other players involved. It wasn't just a straight up.
Zombie won't give me Mostert.
And he wasn't on IR yet at that point. Yeah, you kept wanting Mostert, but did you ever consider maybe just shipping off Achain to get
No, because
DeAndre
I'll
Swift?
give him the 4 games, and he'll take over Mostert when he gets back.
Okay,
Because
there's always a
Mostert's
risk with
ass.
that though.
No.
I mean, if
Mostert's
Mostert
ass.
continues to pop off and do good, they may
He's getting
just
locked up
keep him
after
number
You
the
one.
can't forget
will-
you can't forget about Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah,
I
there's
will
also him as
say-
well coming back.
After the Panthers game, Mostert's down to reality.
Listen,
and he's gonna suck.
When people have injuries, there's opportunity for other people to step up, and if they step up,
Facts.
then that changes. I mean, look at
Look
Puka
at-
Nacua. I mean,
Look
he
at Tony Romo and Dak
Cooper,
Prescott.
yeah, Cooper Cup
Look
went
at
down,
Drew
and
Bledsoe and Tom
yes,
Brady.
yeah. I mean, that
Maybe-
happens all the
Well,
time.
I
mean-
still have my boy Tyreek Hill, the Chief stack, DJ Moore to lock it down. So
Okay,
I'm
all
fine.
right.
I thought
Moving
you
on.
just said you don't like DG.
All right, moving
I
on
love
to the
DJ
final match of the week, and obviously we
Oh,
have to
God.
spend a little bit of time on this one as we have a new fantasy football record.
Congratulations.
Hooray! Cheese,
Good job.
congratulations. You set the record for the lowest amount of points. You didn't just set the record, you blew the
sweet.
record out.
It's
It
not
was
even a
50
question.
points, and you only scored 41.18. Oh my God, that might be the lowest we ever see. And Slaps gets a easy victory, 119 to 41.18. Ooh, yikes. I mean, we look here at Cheese's team, and nobody on his whole team scored more than 10 points. Didn't even hit 10 points. Jordan Love looked horrible on Monday night, as he now has the ass title by Cheese, so I'm assuming Jared Goff will be starting moving forward. I still wonder if, going back to that second week when I put in a bid for Purdy and he didn't, and he picked up Love, if he regrets that at all. Now, too bad we can't ask him, because he's not fucking here in the show when he said he'd be here to talk about his fucking record-setting fucking week. And let me see if he sent my fucking comments yet.
Yeah,
He
Golfer's
still
really pissed
freaking
about
hasn't.
things.
Yes, because I wanted his comments on this whole record-setting fucking week. This is a big deal. We will
We can
never
ask
see
him
this
about
again.
Next week.
We will never see this again.
Proactively ask.
Flaps could have literally put in his entire bench.
Slaps
Can I
could
say
have
something on this?
just started what?
I have
The
a comment.
fucking Eagles boys. Would the Eagles boys be enough? 27 and 18.7?
I have
Yeah.
a
Yeah, the
comment.
Eagles
that's
boys would have been enough.
25.
He could have just started the 2 Eagles boys and won this week. That's how you know it's bad. Kyron Williams, 7.7. Aaron Jones was a late rule out, so he just picked up some Green Bay bum just to try to get something from him, and he didn't get anything as he picked up the wrong guy. CeeDee Lamb, a rough game against the 49ers. Ayuk didn't have to do much because they were playing Dallas and they blew him out. Evan Ingram had a rough game. Robert Woods, yikes. And -5 from Washington's defense set the tone for this record-setting week on Thursday night. And that's how you end up scoring 41.18, everybody. All right, go ahead, Rat. What is your comment?
Slaps celebrated this win like it was the hardest win ever. His
Yes.
team shit. He's
Yes.
not making the playoffs.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
He got lucky.
Yeah,
It's
both these
41
teams are now
points.
2 and 3 in that muck of
Slaps got
2 and 3 teams.
So happy for some reason.
Yeah, I have noticed in trade negotiations these last 2 days with Slaps that he has all of a sudden his player values have risen compared to the first 3 weeks of the season. After getting a win, he seems to be a little bit more happy about his team and more optimistic about his team after I mean he scored 119, which isn't bad, but I mean I don't know if I'd be as happy as he was. But anyways, congratulations to Cheese Zombie. I'm sure you'd like to make a comment as he takes the record from you. I'm sure you don't want that record back.
I'd just like to thank Cheese for taking this record-setting total down all the way to 41.
Yeah, I don't think this will ever.
Yeah. Broken again. This is like
Does anybody
Bond
believe this will ever get
Kareem's
broken?
record.
That's
This
the
is like
question.
Barry Bonds.
No.
home run
I don't think it will ever get broken. Does anyone believe it would get
I-
broken?
No.
I
I
mean-
wanted to say there were 2 players who scored more than Cheese's entire total this week, and there's been 8 players who have done it over the entire year in one game. Unlucky, Cheese.
Yeah.
Also,
You could have.
I mean, if you look at-
DJ Moore,
And you would have
lost
lost.
only to DJ Moore.
now all I will have to remember is my highest point total. No longer have to carry on that trash baggage
Yes.
as lowest
Yeah,
point
now you
total.
only have the highest. Congratulations to you, Zombie. Okay, so after all those matchups, as we take a quick look at the standings, as we pointed out,
on,
there's
Matt.
only. Huh?
I said go on, Matt.
Oh.
Adding Rasheed Rice to the.
Two teams at 4-1, myself and Matt. So we are the 2 4-1 teams. Then we have a couple at 3-2. We have Rat after his big win, Ernie after he fell, and Zombie after his big win. All moved to 3-2. And then we have a whole slew of teams in the 2-3 muck that I like to call it. Bill, Tyler, Slaps, Pook, Cheese, and Pussy, all at 2-3 in that huge muss there. And then only one team in solo last place this week at Zach at 1-4. We'll see if Zach starts doing anything different. He has been very AFK.
The crazy thing is, he has more points for than every 3 and 2.
Yes.
Every 2 and 3
Yeah.
team.
Yes, he's
and
scored a lot. He
Zombie.
has been
Yeah.
unlucky. He has definitely been unlucky in some matchups, which I guess is for the fantasy why he's in the fantasy depression. So unlucky. We'll see though if he can start getting lucky in some matchups and maybe get out of the cellar. All right, real quickly looking at waivers for this past week, there was some big spenders as there was a couple opportunities for some players that we probably expected would go for big amounts. They may not work out, but at this point, people will spend if there's an opportunity for somebody. So obviously, KJ Osborne was one of the bigger guys to get with Jefferson now on IR, and who knows when he comes back. Obviously, Addison is probably the number one there, but KJ Osborne will still get some targets. Plenty.
Addison was hurt today.
Oh, he got hurt today? Oh, I didn't see that. How bad?
He was
it dangling?
limited in practice with a
Oh, limited.
groin or
Okay.
hamstring injury.
So obviously, Slaps bid 41. He won the bid. A good bid by him as I put almost all my money, 32 to try to get him. Pussy put
Ankle injury.
26. Ernie 10 and Tyler 6. So I put 32. Slaps got it with 41. So decent pickup. We'll see how KJ does moving forward to see if that justifies that pick or if Slaps ends up trading him. Matt, big spender finally for
Oh
Matt.
my
He's been
God.
very quiet so far this year, and he came out of nowhere and spent $35 on Cole Kmet. Slaps bid 5, so that's a $30
Oh my
overpay
God.
by Matt there. A little bit surprising as he had a lot of fab and hadn't really used it all year, and then he kind of came out of nowhere. But he needs a tight end, I guess, so that's why. Since I didn't win my bid on KJ Osborne, I did win my bid on DeMarcado. Now that James Conner's on IR, obviously that backfield is probably going to be some type of committee hell. But I need some part of that Arizona backfield with Connor now out. So that's why I bid that. Obviously, there were some other bids, but I did overpay quite a bit as Tyler only bid 18. But at this point, I don't care. I needed to make sure I got some part of it. Pussy bid $32 on Jeff Wilson Jr. Definitely an overpay as Cheese only bid 6. So I guess he's all in on him being the guy moving forward instead of Mostert, or maybe they both keep popping off. We'll see. I got Curtis Samuel for $3. Not much there. Logan Thomas goes to Tyler for $1. Young Ho Koo goes to Pussy for $1 as he drops Matt Gay, who he had that nickname for. Wow, Pussy, you gave up on him already after making that nickname. Rat picks up Noah Gray, the tight end, backup, just in case Travis Kelce is not a go. So decent pickup there for Rat, especially for $0 just in case. Precautionary. Pook gets the Raiders and drops the Patriots. Zombie gets Antonio Gibson, who I did put a bid in for, but I had the other bids win instead.
Rip.
Matt got the Rams for 0. Zombie gets that other piece of that Arizona running backs for 0, which I was a little bit surprised he got him for 0, but that's a good pickup for Zombie. I did bid on him in case I didn't win DeMarcado. So good pickup there for Zombie, especially for the price of 0. We'll see if he ends up being anything or if anybody in that backfield now can get any type of consistent points. We'll see. Zombie gets a kicker as well and also trades in tight ends. John Smith for Hunter Henry. Get out of those Patriot players. Smart move for Zombie there. All right. Looking at trades, we really only had one trade, so we won't take too long with that. Although there is potentials for more trades moving forward, and we have Rat and Pook's trade that we'll look at as well, because that one was just made with Cheese. Small one here between me and Rat made yesterday. He gets Justice Hill and the Dolphins defense. I get the Jaguars defense and 10 fab. I was just trying to get enough fab to jump a couple people on the waivers. I knew I was never going to be able to get more fab than Slaps and Pussy, so I just wanted to get enough to jump a couple people that I was behind. So that was the reason for the trade. Rat, you want to make some comment like the Dolphins defense is great?
Brees Hall has his bye next week.
His bye, so you're getting Justice Hill for that? Okay.
Probably.
All right, let's take a look at this trade that was just made here. It's kind of a big one. Oh my god, it's a big one. So Pook sends his boy Jahmyr Gibbs and Puka Nacua
Wow.
to Cheese. In return gets Tyler Lockett and Saquon Barkley and $12 of fab. Wow, interesting. Very, very interesting trade here. Pook, you can start off. Your comments on why you made this trade or why you like it?
Let me tell you right now, Cheese is a little fucking bitch.
Whoa,
We
okay.
spent 5 hours
Okay.
of trying to trade and decide what fab. He was too cheap to give me 3 more fab.
Okay.
So I decided for the good of the show, I would take the less fab and make him happy.
Wow, that's such a nice guy of you to accept 3 less fab for the sake of this.
I know.
So you're just hoping it's a Lockett week this week against me instead of a DK week?
I don't give a shit about Lockett. I need
okay.
a secure lock and loaded
Running back
RB that isn't.
that's coming back from injury. Are we worried about that at all?
I trust Saquon 3 weeks off an injury than Jahmyr Gibbs, who just got a hamstring injury.
Okay, all right. So, okay. Yeah, Gibbs was out last week, so maybe that lingers.
The thing that pushed me over was the fact that Gibbs didn't practice today. If he practiced today, I might have held off, but because he didn't.
Okay. So you drafted Gibbs in the 3rd round, correct?
Yeah.
So are we grading that as like a busted draft pick or?
Well, I got Saquon for it, so.
Yeah, but you also had to get rid of Nacua, who's been
who I got for nothing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're not counting it as a busted draft pick because you're just counting it as a
I'm
chip that
counting
you
it.
used to get Barkley.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyone else's thoughts on this trade? I think it's pretty equal.
Pretty
Um,
fair.
I think
Yeah.
if Gibbs can get back healthy and maybe down the stretch they start using him more, then maybe Chiefs can win the trade. Other than that, if Barkley comes back and looks good, my only worry with Barkley is the Giants are so bad. If this injury lingers at all, or he picks up another one down the road, do they just mail it in because they're so fucking bad? They're kind of in a similar situation as the
Well, at this
Vikings.
point, Gibbs is fucking ass. So.
Saquon's playing for his contract too, if I remember correctly. So I don't think he gets shut down when he's
Okay.
playing for a contract.
Okay. Go
I
ahead. What, Rat? What did you say?
I said Gibbs is ass. Puka's good. Lockett, ass.
I wouldn't
Barkley's
say
good. So
ass. Lockett's
pretty
not
even.
ass.
Oh, Tyler
He has
Lockett's giving you
potential to
10
have
to
big
12.
games. He just
Gibbs is
hasn't
giving
had
you
them
10
yet.
to 12, and then it's just up to the other two to give you what you're looking for. So
um,
pretty even.
Okay. Zombie?
I
And fuck the Pep.
think Pook's getting the better end.
Okay.
Cool.
Wow. All right.
Uh, I don't know what Cheese doing with. I don't know why Cheese wants that bust running back.
What?
Okay.
But
Go up the damn hole.
I think Cheese is thinking that he has other running back. 'Cause he's thinking when Jones comes back, he's got Kyron
I
and
think he's
Jones,
thinking he
so
can
he
get a
can
10
just
to
wait.
12 point guy.
Yeah, but that's not. Well, yeah, he said
No,
that
the
earlier.
opposite.
In his flex, that's not bad.
Yeah, if he's playing
Lockett's
him
a
in his
10 to
flex, I
12
guess
point
that's not
guy.
bad.
I mean, now he has CD, Ayuk, and Puka. I guess that's fine.
Yes. Yeah, I think it definitely helped upgrade his wide receivers, which he needed because he only had like 2 wide receivers. All right. Let me see.
Why did my point projection go down? What the fuck happened?
They're projected for less.
Yeah, but I don't know who's projected for less. I think it's Stroud. Because I was projected for
I
112,
just
and now I'm
think.
at. Oh wait, no, I
I
think it's
just
because of Trap
think.
Patterson.
I just think Puka did the right thing. He sold Puka high.
Yep.
But I think Cooper Cup's just gonna get more targets the more games he misses.
Okay, but I think you have Cooper Cup.
I wanted to keep Puka. I wanted to get rid of Olave, but she's willing
But
to
he
take
wouldn't do
Olave.
that. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. All right, good solid trade there. We'll see how it works out moving forward. All right, looking into next week's matchups, we will start with mine versus Pook. As he just mentioned, his projection went down by a couple points, so it's pretty much a dead even, 109 to 109 at this point. At the moment, pending any more trades by obviously, this trade will go through for Pook, so Gibbs will be out there, but Saquon will be in, and Puka will be out there. And are you starting Evans and Lockett or
I'm starting probably Downs.
Downs? Okay, and benching Lockett.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have Purdy against Cleveland. Tougher defensive test for Purdy and the 49ers. We'll see how he performs. He's been great so far for me, so we'll see if he can continue it. Pollard on Monday night against the Chargers. Hopefully Pollard can have a breakout
Jesus,
big
Monday
game.
night.
Yep, hopefully against that Chargers team whose defense has not looked that great this year. Hopefully after his pitiful game last week, hopefully he can destroy the Chargers. Kenneth Walker against Cincinnati. Hopefully that game's an offensive shootout. Boyd as well versus Seattle. Boyd got me 10 last week against Tyler. Hopefully he can just get me around there this week until Pickens comes back. Metcalf against Cincinnati. Hopefully that can be decent. Hawkinson against Chicago. Like the matchup. Hopefully with Jefferson out, the only benefit of that, maybe Hawkinson picks up even more targets, hopefully. DeMarcado in at the flex. We'll see. It's a total crapshoot from him. I don't know what to expect or what he's going to get, but I don't really have any other option at this point unless I make a trade, which is still possible. Jake Elliott and Jacksonville defense against the Colts. Now with Gardner Minshew, hopefully they can make some mistakes for Minshew. On Pook's side, C.J. Stroud in there with Richardson on IR against the Saints. A little bit of a tougher defense, but Stroud has been great so far this year and has not thrown any interceptions, which will help. Now we'll have Saquon in there. Who does the Giants play? Against
Buffalo.
Buffalo on Sunday night. So you have a Sunday night. Bijan Robinson against Washington. Chris Olave against Houston. And then we already said you're going to go Mike Evans against Detroit. Could be decent. And then on your flex will be, you said, Downs against Jacksonville. Raiders against New England. That could be a good matchup as New England has been absolutely horrible on offense.
And my Monday morning or
Sunday morning
Nick
kicker.
Folk.
Yeah. All right. I obviously will project myself. I'm hoping it's similar to last week, where against Tyler, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was just enough to get me the win. Hopefully, I can pick up another win like that this week. Hopefully, I get some bounce back games from Pollard, who had a bad one last week, and Hawkinson, who kind of just did mediocre. Hopefully those guys can pop off and I can get some like 10 points for some of my other guys that are in here just because of buys or injuries, like Boyd and Mercado. And hopefully I can get just enough to beat Pook. I think it will be a lower scoring matchup, and I think it will be a close one. All right. Zombie, who's winning this matchup?
I actually think if Pook hadn't done the deal, I
Okay.
think Puka would put up a good chunk this week,
Okay.
and I would have picked him. But because he's making the deal, I don't know what Barkley's gonna do, so
Okay.
I'm gonna pick you to win.
All right. Interesting. Rat.
I am gonna pick a tie.
A tie. Okay.
I
Wow. Your
think
first
we
ever
have
predicted
this
tie.
my
That's usually a
first
Zach
ever
thing.
tie.
Jeez.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
either going to be a tie or a very, very close game, and somebody
Yep.
wins by one. But I think pretty even matchup, and yeah, it could land down to the final
Okay.
couple.
Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, if it's gonna come down to Monday night, I hate Monday night games, but
Yeah,
we'll
well,
see.
you don't want to talk about your last Monday night, which actually might have benefited you. I'm not gonna lie.
No, my last Monday night I won. That was
No, I'm
against
talking
Bill.
about like your Monday night injury with Rodgers, because I think Brock
Oh.
Purdy's playing better
Well,
than Rodgers.
listen,
would
we
have
broke the Monday night curse against
Well,
Bill
fair.
2 weeks ago, so we aren't
Fair.
bringing up week 1 against Rodgers. I don't know why the fuck you would bring that up right now. What the
Hey.
fuck? Are you just trying to jinx me
So-
again? You already
oh.
did it the first week. All right. All right. So you predicted tie. All right. Pook, are you gonna get this win? It's a good week to play me with both those guys on IR last week getting hurt.
If I can't win this game with
Okay.
you not popping off, like if somebody on your team doesn't get like 50 or something,
Uh-huh.
I'm going into fantasy depression.
Oh.
I will be joining Zach.
So is the nuke button gonna get pressed as well, or just fantasy
Nope,
depression?
I'll just let my guys sink with the ship.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Damn. So I have the chance to send Pook into what, his first ever fantasy depression. Have you ever been in fantasy depression? You're usually one of the best teams every year in the league,
Last year I was close. I think I was 2-3 as well.
but you
But
you
then
never
I
got there
won-
though because you
I
rebounded.
won like 3 in a row, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a big
But,
opportunity this
Look,
week.
if one of your players gets like 40, then it's not a big deal. But like if
Okay.
everyone on your team does normal, my
So
team
if I
just
score like
underperforms
110 points and win,
and I lose,
yes.
yeah, I'm going to depression.
Interesting. All right. All right. I'm not gonna. Well, obviously, I'd love to send you. Zach needs some company. Somebody needs to join him.
I tried training with Zach and he just
Oh,
wouldn't.
he's
fucking
in
answer me.
fantasy depression. He's already said he ain't trading. If only everyone agreed to make that 5 trade minimum, then Zach would be forced to
Ah,
try
true.
to some DMs. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We have a 4-1 team in Matt facing Zach, who's in his fantasy depression at 1-4. At the moment, though, Sleeper has projected Zach to get a win, 118 to 115. On Matt's side, he's got the young Cam Newton, Justin Fields against Minnesota. Minnesota has not looked good, so that could be another nice game for Fields. Jerick McKinnon on Thursday night against Denver. I don't know about that, but it is Denver. And what did I say earlier? Anybody that faces Denver, it's a get-right game for you. And McKinnon has looked a little better the last couple weeks, I think, getting touchdowns in the last 2 games. He's also running Pacheco against Denver. Interesting. So he's just going all. He's just going all out against that Denver horrible team. I kind of like that move. I don't usually like playing 2 running backs from the same team, but this might be the one exception week where I do. Although they both play on Thursday night, so if Matt gets bad performances from them, then that could hurt his chances of winning. On Diggs on Sunday night against the Giants should be great. Adams, we'll see. He's facing the Patriots, so that's a good get-right game after his disappointing game. He could drop 30 after his bad game last week facing the Patriots. Newly acquired Komet against Minnesota could be decent. Thielen, after his big game, faces Miami. Butker on Thursday night. Wow, so he has 3 Thursday night players. And the Rams defense against Arizona with no Connor now. We'll see. That should be pretty decent. On Zach's side, Tua versus Carolina. That could be a very good game for Tua as Carolina is not good. Jacobs against New England. Also good matchup. Rashad White in there against Detroit. I don't know. We'll see. Jamar Chase against Seattle. That game has a potential to be a high-scoring game between Seattle and Cincinnati, so Chase could have another big game. Michael Thomas, can he ever get into the end zone? Zach keeps betting on him each week to get 5 catches and get in the end zone, and he didn't. He let him down big time last week as he only got 4 catches against Houston. We'll see. Probably another 10 points there. Mark Andrews on Sunday morning against the Titans. Debo, Skinny D against Cleveland. A little bit of a rough matchup there. We'll see though. Carlson against the Patriots as well. Carlson missed 2 field goals last week. I'm sure that's got to worry Zach a little bit. And the Chiefs Thursday night against Denver. That could be a really good matchup for Zach on the defensive side facing Denver. Anytime you face Denver, that's a good thing. I like a lot of Zach's matchups. I'm not going to lie. I do like Matt's matchups as well for a lot of his plays. They both have good matchups. I usually would pick against the person that is starting 2 running backs from the same team. But I think in this case, I'm going to take Matt to win in a close, high scoring, like another like 135 to 130 where Zach scores a lot of points but loses and just keeps the fantasy depression going even more, as Zach, I think, will get unlucky again and just not quite score enough to beat Matt's team with the matchups they both have. Rat, who's winning?
I am going to go crazy, and I know Matt's 4-1. I like his team, but I think Zach finally gets one.
Gets a
I
win?
think he
Wow,
grabs
okay.
one. He's starting some right players here. He's got good matchups.
Okay.
Matt, you know, it's going to be a close one, but yeah, Zach gets out of his fantasy depression, hopefully.
Okay.
We
Pook.
will see.
I want Zach to win,
Oh,
but I
you.
think Matt is going to win.
Why do you want Zach to win? So I'll trade with you?
No, because Matt would go to 4-2 and give me a better shot of overtaking him if I win this week.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, you would be 3-3. Okay.
Yeah, but it would be 4-2
But what? But if
versus
Zach
5-1.
wins and you lose, then you're both on the same record at the bottom.
Yep.
Oh.
Then we can both be in fantasy
So
depression.
I would think you'd be more worried. Okay, interesting. All right.
I need the people above me to lose, not the people below me to win.
Okay. Well, at a certain point in the season, if you're still down there, then you're just rooting for the people below you to lose, so you stay out of the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right, and Zombie, who's winning?
How the fuck is Matt 4-1 with these running backs?
Well, these aren't his starting running backs every week. He uses Pacheco, but he also has.
Because he has good wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, T. Higgins is hurt, but he maybe could come back. He's got Najee Harris, who hasn't been that
He
good.
got lucky with that Thielen pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Lucky,
Matt
or
has-
he actually knew
Or
it.
smart.
Matt has
Oh,
4
shut
really
the
good wide
fuck up.
receivers.
No one wanted
He
Adam
always
Thielen
liked
this
Matt.
year.
He
Nobody
always liked
yeah.
Thielen.
Maybe
Matt
Matt
always
wanted
liked Thielen.
Thielen.
Matt's
Stop.
like,
I
Made a
mean-
good pick.
Stop
Just because
capping,
we
stop.
didn't want him doesn't mean he
Matt
didn't as
likes
well.
Thielen.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
I
know
know
if I'd
that's
call
a
it
fact.
lucky. I think
Zombie, give credit for people other than saying everything they do is lucky.
I think
I
Matt's
will
smart.
say Matt
Matt's
likes
strategy to
Thielen.
take the wide receivers is working so far, and
Yeah.
he did make a good trade getting Fields,
I'm saying
so
it worked
it's
out
helped
for
him.
him that he took
I
Thielen.
also
You're
think
saying
should
he
make
got
another move,
lucky.
man.
Yeah, you
You're
did
acting
say he
like
got
it was
lucky,
all
didn't you?
luck.
What I meant was
Every
he-
time somebody does
No,
something
hold on,
good
shut
that
the
isn't
fuck up, shut
you,
the fuck up.
it's being lucky. Every time you do something that might even be lucky, it's smart because it's you.
Ooh, okay.
Does anyone want to
You're the
counterclaim
one
that? That isn't
drafted a
zombie.
bust
It's the
kid.
truth.
You're the one that drafted a
It
bust
It is the
kid.
truth, see?
I will say this too. Matt could also probably go search for other running backs, so his team could get even more scary.
I gave him
Yeah,
his best running back.
Is he going
Yeah,
to put?
You never know.
You really think
Just saying.
I mean, I don't think he's going to trade one of his wide receivers until T. Higgins gets fully healthy.
True.
So why would he really do that when he's managing with
Oh,
Najee
yeah.
Harris and Pacheco, who's been amazing so far?
Najee Harris is the problem.
Fucking Najee Harris gets 5 points a game.
I
Like,
mean, he got like 14 last 2 weeks ago, I think.
Let's take a look at Najee Harris.
Pretty sure he had a decent game like 2 weeks ago, if I remember. He had 11 2 weeks ago against Houston. Yeah, and other than that, he's been 5 points. That's not good.
Jesus.
But when you got the other wide receivers to make up for it, I mean, I guess you can get away with that.
I think this might
Oh,
be.
forgot approved, by the way.
I think Zach is gonna come out of his fantasy depression this week. I'm
Okay.
picking my boy Zach.
You're picking your boy Zach. Okay.
Oh god, this is the
Interesting.
battle of the fucking.
Oh, big
All right.
news.
No.
Nick
boy.
Sirianni admits the concern of overusing DeAndre Swift is indeed valid.
Ooh,
Oh.
incoming Kenny Gainwell. More touches. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have Slaps at 2-3 versus Pussy at 2-3. This is a big matchup towards the bottom. Both teams got big wins last week, so they're feeling better about themselves, but only one will get the win this week, unless there's a tie, of course, but that's not really a win. Slaps at 110, projected to beat Pussy at 105. Another low scoring projection for Pussy. Slaps has Jalen Hurts against the Jets. Jets defense isn't horrible, but it is the Eagles, so they'll probably still roll. Mixon against Seattle. Jermaine Ford against the 49ers. That's a horrible matchup, but we'll see if Ford can maybe get it in the end zone or something. Christian Kirk against the Colts. AJ Brown, who's been popping off the last couple weeks after crying about the ball, he has been getting the ball the last couple weeks. We'll see if he keeps getting it against the
What a
Jets.
fucking pussy.
Ferguson against the Chargers on Monday night. Garrett Wilson against the Eagles. That's also a little bit of a rough matchup with Zach Wilson. I'm sure he's not going to have much time back there to throw, and he doesn't do good when he doesn't have time. Cincinnati Bengals against Seattle. Interesting that he's choosing that defense. I don't like the defensive choice. On
Jesus.
Pussy's side, Kirk Cousins against Chicago. We'll see how Kurt does now that he doesn't have his main man, Justin Jefferson. We'll see if that affects him at all. He did drop Deshaun Watson, so he doesn't have another option at quarterback, so he's rolling with Kurt. Ramondre Stevenson against the Raiders. I don't know. Travis Etienne against the Colts. Could be decent. Jerry Jeudy on Thursday night against the Chiefs. Don't know about that either, but I don't like any of my Broncos right now. Godwin off the bye against Detroit. Goddard against the Jets. Gervonta Williams as well on Thursday night. So not only is he running two Broncos again, but they're both playing on Thursday night as well. So this could be a quick. Pussy might concede after Thursday night if he gets shit performances from those guys. Koo against Washington and Minnesota against Chicago. Interesting. I don't know about both these defenses. I don't know about their choices. I think this will be one of the lower scoring performance battles of the week. I don't really like too many matchups on either side. I guess I'm just going to pick Slaps because he has that Eagle stack. And I guess I'll just say they both get like 20 points and combine for 40. And I guess that will just be enough to beat Pussy's team because I don't see how Pussy's team scores 130 again this week. I don't even think he gets over 100 this week looking at some of these matchups and some of these players he has in his lineup. So I'm going to take Slaps to win like 110 to like 95. And Slaps gets a win to go to 3-3, and then he'll be super happy about his team and optimistic, even though he's 3-3 and his team probably isn't really even that good. He's just gotten lucky with some teams he's faced these last couple weeks. All right, Rat, who's winning?
I am taking a Pusa in an 85 to 82 matchup. They're both teams are mid this week, but Pusa will pull an upset out.
Really, you're taking Pussy for another
Yes.
win? Wow. Okay. All right, Pook.
I would be shocked if either of these teams hit 110 points.
Okay. Yep.
And I will say, if Garrett Wilson couldn't pop off against those bum-ass
Exactly.
Broncos,
Yes.
there is no hope for him to pop
Yes,
off against
exactly.
any other team. at
I
this
totally
point.
agree. He had such a promising game against the Chiefs that nobody expected, and then he should have had another huge game last week, and he didn't. Hence why in JV I shipped him out. 'Cause
And
once
I
saw
will,
that.
and I will give Pusa this morning. Do not put a Thursday night player in your flex spot.
Ooh, yeah, good call there. We'll see if he listens to the show later on and switches that. That's good call. That's always a thing you don't want to do. All right, and Zombie.
God, both these teams are ass.
Yeah.
Listen, Slaps did not press the nuke button last week because of his win.
Yep.
But I think this week losing to Pusa is gonna make him hit the nuke button.
Ooh,
I'm going
okay.
with Pusa.
All right, interesting take. Wow, a lot of people picking pussy. Wow. All right, moving on to the next one. And Cheese just sent me his comments just in time. Cheese, record-setting team against Tyler. Okay, Cheese has some. I was gonna say, is he really projected for 91 points? But he's missing a running back and a flex because of the trade.
Nakua.
So he's gonna put Nakua in.
101.
So that's 14.
115. 115.
Okay, so he's just predicted to lose by about 5 right now. Tyler, 120 to 115 around. Cheese has Goff against Tampa Bay. Kyron Williams against Arizona could be decent. Newly acquired Gibbs, as long as he plays with that hamstring. We'll see if he can get the 10 that Cheese is hoping for. CeeDee Lamb on Monday night against the Chargers. We'll see if he has a bounce back game after his disappointing game last week. Ayuk looking for a bounce back as well after his mediocre game. Evan Ingram against the Colts. And as we said, Nakua, they're playing the Arizona as well. So he's got Kyron and Nakua now. Tyler Bass against the Giants and the 49ers against Cleveland. If Deshaun Watson plays or if he doesn't play, 49ers defense should keep the Browns low scoring. On Tyler's side, Lamar Jackson on Sunday morning against Tennessee. Austin Eckler against Dallas on Monday night. Damian Pierce against the Saints. Amon-Ra St. Brown against Tampa Bay. Hollywood Brown against the Rams. Kyle Pitts, who had a decent game last week on Tyler's bench. He's now in there against Washington. We'll see if he has back-to-back good games. Drake London as well against Washington. And Sanders and Atlanta versus Washington. So Tyler's got the 3 Atlanta guys against that Washington team who looked horrible last Thursday night. This one's going to be close. I will predict that Cheese does score more than 41 points this week. I'm going to take Tyler just because I like some of his players better. However, me and Tyler are in some advanced trade talks, and a deal could be happening later on tonight, and that could change some of his outlook on this matchup. So for this week at least, but I'm going to take Tyler at the moment to get the win over Cheese. I just don't know. I mean, the deal was okay for Cheese, but I don't know if Cheese will have enough with some of these matchups. All right, Rat, who's winning?
I think Cheese will pull this one out. Because his wide receivers, Ayuk and Lamb, had a rough week last week. I think they come back, bounce back, and give more points. Kyron will do good against Arizona. Puka's going to fry Arizona, and Cheese will come out about 5 to 10 points.
Okay, so close one. Pook?
I think it will come down. I think Cheese is gonna win. I don't like.
Okay, wow. Okay.
I don't like starting Drake London.
Okay. All right, Zombie?
I think Tyler's gonna get the win, although it's gonna be closer than it looks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
I don't
projected a
think,
5-point game once he gets his players in.
Yeah, but I think this is not gonna be high scoring, but it's still
Okay.
gonna be close.
Yeah, looks like it could have a lot of lower scoring matchups this week. We'll see.
Could come down on Monday night.
Okay, yep. All right, Cheese has sent comments in. He says, I'm skipping that because that's for the end segment. He says, for my record combo of bad matchups and players shitting the bed, it happens, but we are happy to be in the history books. So he's basically not looking very good about not feeling very good about his team, but he's happy to have set a record. I wouldn't want that record, and I would not be happy. But I guess, Cheese, if you can't win the title in fantasy, at least you got some type of record to hold on to. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have a pretty big one here. Bill, after his tough loss last week to go to 2-3. Rat, after his huge win, 3-2. Bill would really like to get in the win books this week to move to 3-3 and send Rat to 3-3. At the moment, look at this projection, 132 to 125. So bigger matchup here. Bill has Josh Allen against the Giants. That's a great matchup. I expect Josh Allen on Sunday night to put on a show once again. David Montgomery against Tampa Bay. He's been getting feeded the rock. I'm sure that will continue. Kamara against Houston on Sunday. Should be pretty decent as Kamara's been a target machine. Waddle against Carolina. That's kind of the one player on Bill's team that he's hoping will get going, as he's just kind of been mediocre this year. Against Carolina, that's a good matchup to get a big game from him. Pittman against Jacksonville. Ertz against the Rams, and Keenan Allen off his bye on Monday night against Dallas. Should be a show-out game for Allen. And then Buffalo's defense against the Giants as well. That's a great matchup for defense. No Danny Dimes, who Tyrod Taylor's the quarterback. Maybe he plays a little bit better than Danny Dimes, but I'm sure there'll still be some turnovers in that game. On the Rat side, Patrick Mahomes on Thursday night. So his Chiefs stack is on Thursday night. So that's a big deal. If it's a Thursday night dud type of game, which I doubt it will be because they're playing the Broncos. But if for some reason it is, then maybe that's a big up for Bill. Thursday night against Broncos, that should be another huge 20-plus point game for Mahomes. James Cook against the Giants on Sunday night, so that's also a pretty good matchup for Cook to have a bounce back. Breece Hall against Philly. We'll see what he does. He got the big workload last week, but he's facing Philly's defense this week. We'll see if he can continue to look good. Tyreek Hill, obviously, against Carolina. I guess Bill just needs to hope for it to be a Waddle game, and Hill kind of just do mediocre, I guess. So Waddle versus Hill in this matchup as well. DJ Moore, after his huge game, now in there against Minnesota. That should be good, assuming Chicago keeps rolling on offense. Travis Kelce, as we already said, against Denver. Scary Terry in the flex against Atlanta. And Miami defense against Carolina, also a great defense. So a lot of good matchups on both sides, which is why it's projected for so high scoring. I am going to take Bill to get a bounce-back victory this week. Against his team's been doing okay. I think his team has some pop-off games from a couple players, and although Rat has some great matchups, there's a couple I don't like. So I'm going to give Bill the slight edge in a high-scoring, close matchup, but I think Bill will pull it out when it comes down to Monday night. I think Bill will get
no.
What's that?
Oh no, Connor Bedard is hurt.
Oh God, did he get his 4 shots at least? Please tell me.
He has 6 shots.
Oh, nice. Let's go. Easy cash.
I'm not paying Chiefs till
Easy
the end of the year.
He's hurt. Like how badly?
He was on a breakaway. He shot. They saved it, and he smashed into the boards. It looks like he got tripped up.
Oh God.
It looks like a wrist injury. He was holding his wrist.
Oh, he'll be fine. He'll be all right. He's a hockey player. All right. All right. Let's see. Pook, who's winning this matchup?
I want Rat to win because it would help catch up.
Okay.
I think.
You think?
If Bill wins, that means that Alvin Kamara did a lot better than Olave.
Okay.
So I think Rat is gonna win, and I want Rat to win.
Okay.
Actually, no, I think Bill's gonna win. Rat has shitty fucking running backs.
Okay. All right. All right. Zombie.
I think this is where a losing streak starts for Fake Rat.
Ooh.
Without
Okay.
option.
Big prediction. Okay.
I think his running backs are going to cost him against Bill.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. All right. Rat, are you gonna keep rolling here and get another dub, or is Bill gonna get you?
It is going to be the highest scoring game of the week.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I am looking for James Cook and Breece Hall to give me that 10 to 12 range, and let me explain to you that Mahomes and Kelce are going to put up 25 each. Tyreek Hill's going to have another 25 to 30 point game. DJ Moore is going to give me the enough, and then that's what I'm looking for. I think my big boys are going to pop off.
All right. Well, they definitely have matchups, good matchups to pop
Yeah.
off. So it's so how
And
many
I think
points do you
Waddle
expect
is
for
gonna
Brees
get
Hall
shut
against
down.
your Eagles?
12.
12. Okay.
And then
12.
Waddle also is gonna suck.
No fucking shot.
He'll be
Waddle
lucky
is
to get 5.
hold on. Waddle, Tyreek Hill is gonna overshadow Waddle and take all the points, and Waddle's
Hmm.
gonna wind up with like 8,
Well, so
and
far
Tyreek
that's
Hill's
been the
gonna end
case.
up with
Waddle's
like
been kind of
30.
mediocre. So
Yep.
maybe
Waddle's
this is the week
mediocre.
though that it's a
Nope,
Waddle type week. Are you? I mean,
not
I'd
at
be a
all.
little worried about that. You know,
And let
eventually
me
he's gonna
bring
have a
up
big
that
week.
Pittman is gonna suck again because he does not have Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
So
Interesting. All
Pittman's
right, moving
gonna
on to the final matchup of the
go dub.
week. We have Ernie versus Zombie. Man, this is
Match
also
the
a
week.
big matchup. Anytime Ernie faces Zombie, you know the Indeed.com and those type of jokes will be coming from Ernie, especially if he wins. Right now, Zombie projected to edge him out by 1 point. Ernie has Burrow against Seattle. That could be very good as Burrow finally looked decent last week. Should see if he can put back-to-back good games up. McCaffrey against Cleveland. Maybe that game is closer than people think, and maybe McCaffrey gets more of a workload and they're needed him more. But Cleveland has a decent defense, so we'll see. Derrick Henry against Baltimore on Sunday morning. We'll see if he feasts over there in England.
There's another London game.
Yes, I think
Jesus.
hopefully this is the last one.
This is the final. Yeah, I think this is the final one.
Addison against Chicago. We'll see if he turns into Justin Jefferson or if he still gets a lot of targets but isn't quite Justin Jefferson-esque. We'll see. Although he did, like Pook said, he picked up that knock, so we'll watch that during the week. Calvin Ridley in there against the Colts. Sam Laporta against Tampa Bay could be decent. His boy Zay Jones, he keeps riding with him. He had a decent game last week against the Colts. We'll see. Tucker on England morning time again, and the Philly defense against the Jets. That is a great matchup for the Philly defense. On Ernie's side or Zombie's side, Justin Herbert against Dallas on Monday night. So this will probably come down to Monday night with Herbert. Mostert now, that new top back against Carolina. Great matchup for him to get the full workload with Chain out. DeAndre Swift, as Pook just mentioned, some report about maybe overusing him. So maybe against the Jets in a blowout type game, Gainwell gets some more carries in the second half, and they don't need Swift as much. We'll see. Devontae Smith, as we already mentioned earlier in the show about Swift, ever since A.J. Brown cried on the sidelines, Smith has not been doing too much. We'll see if he bounces back against the Jets. Cooper Kupp against Arizona after looking very good last week. That's a good matchup for him. George Kittle against Cleveland. Amari Cooper against that 49ers defense. Not ideal, but Cooper coming back as the lead receiver for that team. Maybe he can just get some catches at least. And the Saints defense, who's been popping off this year, against CJ Stroud in Houston. We'll see if the Saints can force Stroud into one of his first picks of his career or if they just get torched by Stroud. We'll see. Some matchups on both sides I like. I don't necessarily love Ernie's flex position with Zay Jones. And I think I'm going to take. I think this is another tight one, close one. Could see it being somewhat high scoring, like 125, 130, somewhere in that range. I am going to take Zombie, though, just barely to edge it out. I think Monday night comes around and it needs maybe like 23 points, and I think Herbert gets it done after Dallas just gave up all those points last week. It's a big game for the Chargers against Dallas, so maybe he shows up and shows out and gets Zombie what he needs. But it will be close. Rat, who's winning this one?
I'm taking Ernie by like a good margin.
By a good margin. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
What is a good
Zombie
margin?
like 15 to 20.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Zombie's team's pretty ass to be honest.
Okay.
Devontae Smith doesn't get the ball. We're gonna use Gainwell. Cooper Kupp being taking everything. Puka Nacua was taking everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Zombies team's ass.
Wow. Okay. Interesting takes there. Pook.
I think that Ernie will win.
I was gonna say, are you dare gonna take Zombie to win?
No.
Okay, Ernie gets to win. All right, Zombie, are you beating your boy Ernie here, or is he gonna get the better of you?
Uh, I am gonna be my boy Ernie. Uh, AJ Brown is gonna get shadowed by Sauce, so all those points are gonna go to Devontae Smith this
Oh,
week.
okay,
No
interesting.
crying will be allowed.
Okay.
Also, I think, yeah, Ernie's wide receivers aren't gonna put up a lot of points.
Okay.
I think Addison might struggle as the wide receiver one.
Okay. All
I
right.
will, if Deshaun Watson doesn't play, I'll just start Palmer,
Okay.
to be
Fair
honest.
enough. You have him as the option on the bench. All right.
But
So
it will
you're.
come down to Monday night.
It will or won't?
It will, well, he'll be. I think he'll be leading by Monday morning, but that's why I think it'll be.
Okay. So how much will
It'll
he be
come down to
leading
Monday.
by that your two boys potentially will need on Monday night if you play Palmer?
1 point.